A C3 exclusive.
After Carolina lost in embarrassing fashion to the Saints last week, it pretty much became a foregone conclusion that the Panthers don't have a shot in getting a win against the Patriots this week. The odds were long before the loss to the Saints, given New England's impressive track record in Foxborough during Tom Brady's career anyway. The Patriots, however, haven't just dominated their opponents this year either. Both teams are 2-1, and while New England did blow out the Saints, they lost their home opener to the Chiefs and barely squeaked out a win at home last week over the Texans. Carolina is a +9 road dog, and New England is 19-1 in covering the spread when it's favored by 9 points or more. Ouch! Tom Brady and the Patriots are mortal, though. And here are some things Carolina will need to do to keep it close and maybe even pull out that win. First, they got to score touchdowns. Carolina's offense has been allergic to the end zone this season. They haven't scored a passing touchdown since week 1. The only touchdown in the last 2 games has come on a Cam Newton run. Carolina has moved the ball effectively at times, but they end up settling for field goals instead of touchdowns. With Tom Brady shredding teams for 450 yards at a clip this season, Carolina will ideally need to get ahead early and slow things down, or at least be able to keep up if things start going poorly. Second, the Panthers got to get to Tom Brady. They had trouble getting after Drew Brees last week in the Saints, but the Patriots, when Brady is under duress, they struggle. Kansas City sacked Brady 3 times, and the Texans put him on his back 5 times. So when Brady is given time in the pocket, he is surgical. We know that. When the defense gets after him, though, he can make mistakes like any quarterback. Number 3, the Panthers have to limit Gronkowski. He's a titan who plays tight end. Last week, the Texans slowed him down a little by keeping him to just 1 touchdown on 8 catches and 88 yards, and the Texans were able to stay close pretty much. The Chiefs have been the only team to shut Gronk down this season, and that was the one loss for the Patriots on the season. Keeping him under wraps is not easy, but it's critical for Carolina if they want to have a shot. Gronk had 6 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown in their blowout against the Saints. So when he's hot, so are the Patriots. Shaq Thompson's time is here now with Tom Davis limited with a rib injury. If Shaq Thompson and Carolina can't contain Gronk, like New Orleans was unable to, things could get ugly. Number 4, Kevon Seymour and the defense have to play disciplined. In week 2, Brady shredded an inexperienced Saints defense. He picked on the Saints' second and third corners, P.J. Williams and Devontae Harris. Brady and Belichick will likely test Kevon Seymour early and often. He's making his first start in Darryl Worley's stead. Seymour will have to play disciplined defense against a clever New England offense. Number 5. Carolina has to make the big play, not give them up. 3 of Brady's 5 touchdown passes last week against the Texans were for 40 or plus more yards. Carolina doesn't have the firepower to get into a shootout. The Texans, who put up a better fight than expected last week, surrendered a bunch of big plays, but they also made some, like this Clowney return for a touchdown. Carolina has a -3 turnover differential, and it was turnovers that ruined their chances against the Saints. Carolina will need to force turnovers, not make them, if they want to keep things close. There are a ton of things Carolina will need to clean up from last week if they want to keep things close or even pull out the upset. Matt Khalil and Darryl Williams will have to play well at tackle, and I think they will because Ron Rivera definitely lit a fire under these guys, telling them they didn't do good enough. Good news is that Carolina was humbled against the Saints last week, and there has to be a chip on these guys' shoulder going on the road into New England, especially on Cam Newton's. The Panthers are also 3-0 in covering the spread after a loss, so I wouldn't be surprised if they can hang in there and keep things close in Foxborough. I used to play poker a good bit when the poker craze was at its height a little over a decade ago. And before my only trip to Vegas, I picked up a few Texas Hold'em books written by the likes of David Skolansky and Doyle Brunson. What I found as I waded through these books was that I knew a lot of these concepts, such as position and pot odds, but by studying them, it put them in a sharper perspective and kept these concepts at the forefront of my mind when playing. None of these points I've made today are revelations, but hopefully they will elucidate some of the things that Carolina will need to do to keep this game against the Patriots close and maybe even win it. We want to hear what you think are the keys to this game, and do you think that Carolina really has a shot? Can they more than cover? Can they win this game? Go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section below. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're on Facebook, go to Carolina Cat Chronicles. We love to hear what Panther Nation has to say. Be sure to go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com for the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective.
Subscribe to the C3 Carolina Panthers podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, or anywhere you can catch an RSS feed. Check out CarolinaCatChronicles.com for the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective.
Great cash, homie.